Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to speak to you about the four forces that will either elevate your life into strength, clarity, and purpose, or slowly weaken it until you become a passenger in your own journey, drifting instead of directing, reacting instead of rising. Your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. These four are not random parts of your life. They are the pillars on which your character, your success, and your future stand. If even one of them collapses, everything above it shakes. But if you learn to master them, to discipline them, to align them, then you walk this world with a powerful internal silence, a centeredness that nothing can break. Because true strength is not loud. True strength is controlled. The first force, your mouth, is not just a tool for speech. It is the front gate of your identity. What you allow to leave your mouth becomes a mirror through which the world interprets you. Your words are the broadcast system of your mindset, your values, your intelligence, your patience, and your discipline. When you speak without intention, you scatter your power. When you speak with intention, your words land like precision strikes, carrying weight, clarity, and impact. Most people talk too much, too fast, too carelessly. They don't understand that speaking is not just communication, it's reputation, it's leadership, it's influence. When you open your mouth, you are not simply making noise, you are revealing who you are. Every careless joke, every emotional outburst, every reckless word becomes part of your story. One wrong sentence can destroy an opportunity. One moment of anger can ruin a relationship. One insecure comment can expose wounds you thought were hidden. And one outburst can collapse 10 years of trust in 10 seconds. People underestimate how long words live. Words said in seconds can echo for years. So the first mastery is restraint, the wisdom of silence, the discipline to pause before reacting. Anyone can talk, very few can communicate, very few can speak with precision, purpose, and emotional neutrality. The person who speaks less but says more becomes the one people listen to, because your mouth is not supposed to be a weapon against your own future. It is meant to be a sword of clarity, used with intention, not emotion. A great warrior does not swing his blade wildly. He chooses his moment. A disciplined person does not speak out of anger, insecurity, or ego. They speak out of clarity. They speak when their words add value, not noise. And when necessary, they hold their silence like a shield, because silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It protects your peace, your relationships, and your reputation. What you say teaches people how to treat you. If you speak negativity, you will attract negative responses. If you gossip, others will assume you gossip about them. If you complain constantly, people will avoid you. If you brag, people will wait for your fall. But if your mouth carries intention, calmness, and respect, you are seen as someone who carries inner mastery. This is not about being quiet. It is about being in control. The greatest control begins in your mouth. The second force is your mood. Your mood is more powerful than you think. It can shape your day, your decisions, your relationships, even your destiny. Most people live like their mood is the weather, something outside of their control. They blame others, situations, and circumstances. But strength begins the moment you realize that your emotional state is not your master. You can feel deeply without reacting deeply. You can be angry without attacking. You can be sad without withdrawing. You can be afraid without surrendering. Your mood is supposed to be a signal, not a steering wheel. The world will provoke you thousands of times, but it cannot force your reaction. That part is yours. When you allow your mood to control your actions, you sabotage your own path. Anger makes people say things they don't mean. Sadness makes them abandon things they should continue. Pride makes them close doors they still need. Fear makes them stop when they should move. Anxiety makes them run when they should rest. The difference between those who rise and those who fall is emotional training, not emotional suppression, emotional training. Those who succeed do not succeed because they feel less. They succeed because they act through emotion, not on emotion. They learn to pause, breathe, observe, and then respond. They understand that moods are temporary, but consequences are permanent. You must learn to ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why? And will this feeling help me or harm me? If you master this inner conversation, your entire life changes, because mood is energy, and energy is contagious. One person in a bad mood can poison an entire environment. One negative leader can destroy a team's spirit. One emotional outburst can make others withdraw from you. When you walk into a room, your mood arrives before your words do, and the way you manage it determines how people receive you. Being emotionally honest does not mean being emotionally uncontrolled. Being authentic does not mean being explosive. Maturity means knowing when to express and when to wait, when to speak and when to breathe, when to act and when to step back. Sometimes the strongest move you can make is restraint. Sometimes the most powerful expression of emotional intelligence is silence. As SHI HENG YI often teaches, calmness is a higher form of strength. Control your mood and you protect your peace, your decisions, and your direction. The third force is money. Not in the materialistic sense, but in the spiritual sense of discipline. Money is not just currency. It is a reflection of your habits, your self-control, your priorities, your planning, and your long-term thinking. People love to say money isn't everything, and they are right. But they forget that money affects almost everything. Your stress, your relationships, your opportunities, your health, your lifestyle, your future. Most financial problems do not come from lack of income. They come from lack of control. If you cannot manage a small amount, you will not manage a large amount. If you are careless with a little, you will be reckless with a lot. Money is a magnifier of mindset. That is why people who win lotteries often end up broke, because the amount of money changed, but the person handling it didn't. They carried the same habits, the same impulsiveness, the same emotional spending. Money without discipline is not a blessing, it is a trap. The one who masters money begins by mastering awareness. Where is your money going? What habits are eating your future? What patterns are draining your strength? Spending should not be unconscious. It should be intentional. Many people buy things not because they need them, but because their ego needs validation. Many people upgrade their lifestyle before upgrading their discipline. Many people buy liabilities and call it living well, while truly wealthy people buy assets and stay patient. Financial discipline is not about deprivation, it's about direction. It's about understanding that every dollar you spend is a soldier in your army. You can either send those soldiers to fight for your future, or you can waste them on things that lose value the moment they leave the store. One click, one swipe, one impulsive moment, and a month's progress is gone. Companies understand human psychology better than humans understand themselves. They know how to trigger your emotions, your fears, your desires. If you do not have a plan for your money, someone else will use you for theirs. Build the habit of saving before spending. Delay gratification. Invest in things that grow. Protect your emergency fund like a warrior protecting his last weapon. Avoid debt traps that steal your future in exchange for temporary pleasure. Financial discipline builds confidence. It builds security. It builds options. You do not need $1 million to have a powerful money mindset. You need control. Because money is not about the amount, it is about the discipline behind the amount. The fourth force, the most powerful one, is your mind. Your mind is the command center of your entire life. Everything begins there. Your confidence, your fear, your choices, your habits, your discipline, your peace. A weak mind produces a weak life. A scattered mind produces scattered results. A noisy mind produces noisy decisions. Your mind is programmable. If you feed it chaos, it creates confusion. If you feed it negativity, it creates insecurity. If you feed it gossip, drama, and distraction, it creates anxiety and emotional noise. But if you feed it clarity, stillness, discipline, structure, and silence, it becomes your greatest weapon. Most people live as prisoners of their own thoughts. They believe every fear, every doubt, every insecurity. They let random thoughts create permanent limitations. They let small triggers steal their entire day. They let old memories dictate new opportunities. You must understand, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Just because a thought enters your mind does not mean it deserves your belief. You must learn to challenge your thinking. When your mind says you can't, ask, is this fear or fact? When your mind says this will go wrong, ask, is this reality or imagination? When your mind brings past failures to destroy your present effort, remind it, I am no longer that version of myself. Negative thoughts need darkness to grow, and your awareness is the light that exposes them. Protect your mind from everything that weakens it. What you watch, what you read, who you listen to, who you spend time with, these are all inputs shaping your mental environment. Garbage in, garbage out, wisdom in, clarity out. Focus is a form of mental strength. In a world addicted to distraction, the ability to sit with yourself, to think clearly, to stay centered, to resist impulses becomes a superpower. Many people are not failing because they lack skills. They are failing because they lack focus. They are not defeated by competition. They are defeated by distraction. They do not lose to others. They lose to their own undisciplined mind. Silence is essential. Without silence, your mind becomes reactive instead of strategic. Without silence, you absorb everyone else's energy and forget your own. Without silence, you think with someone else's brain and live someone else's dream. Take back control. Train your mind like a warrior trains his body. Shape it, strengthen it, test it, discipline it, and it will guide you toward a life of clarity and purpose. Finally, all four forces, your mouth, mood, money, and mind, converge into one final power: self-control. Self-control is the foundation of self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your inner strength rises. Every time you resist an impulse, your discipline sharpens. Every time you choose long-term purpose over short-term pleasure, your identity becomes stronger. People think respect comes from success, but the truth is, success comes from respect, the respect you have for yourself. When you can control your mouth, you protect your relationships and your credibility. When you control your mood, you protect your peace and your decisions. When you control your money, you protect your future. And when you control your mind, you protect everything: your vision, your purpose, your direction. The world will always test you: anger, distraction, debt, doubt, comparison, temptation. But mastery begins within. The greatest power is not found in controlling others, it is found in controlling yourself. Walk through life with clarity, calmness, sharpness, and intention. And remember this: the strongest person in the room is not the loudest, it is the one who leads themselves. This is your daily path to strength. If you found power in this message, make sure you subscribe, share, like, and comment to support the channel Daily Path to Strength. Your engagement helps this community grow, and I'm grateful to walk this path of strength with you.